One of these smartphone brands generates more revenue than entire countries. Another sells millions of phones every year, yet barely keeps anything. And some brands make ultra-powerful gaming phones that cost more than your laptop. But almost no one knows how much money they actually pull in. Today, we're revealing how the biggest smartphone companies actually make their money. And the final comparison at the end will shock you. This isn't about which phone is the best. It's about strategy. How these brands make their money, who sells power, who sells status, and who sells millions of phones just to survive. Apple doesn't just sell phones. Apple sells status. Every year, Apple generates around $380 billion in revenue, with the iPhone alone accounting for roughly $205 billion. But here's the insane part. Apple doesn't sell the most phones. Yet it makes more money than almost everyone combined. How? Apple controls everything. The chip, the software, the ecosystem, even repairs. When you buy an iPhone, you're not just buying a phone. You're buying services, subscriptions, app store fees, and long-term brand loyalty. On average, Apple makes over $600 per phone sold. That's more than Samsung, Xiaomi, or any gaming brand on the planet. Apple's strategy? Sell fewer phones but maximize profit per device. That's how a company can earn hundreds of billions without needing to flood the market. Samsung plays a completely different game. They don't sell just one phone. They sell everything. From budget phones in emerging markets to premium foldables costing over $2,000, Samsung's portfolio is massive. Samsung's annual revenue? Around $320 billion, with smartphones contributing about $80 to $85 billion. But their strategy isn't just phones. They make displays, memory chips, and even supply components to competitors, including Apple. This means Samsung earns money even when someone else sells a phone. Samsung's profit per phone is far lower than Apple's, maybe around $100 to $150 per device. But they win by scale. They sell more phones than anyone else, dominate multiple markets, and profit from everything inside the phone as well. Xiaomi. Xiaomi is proof that selling more doesn't always mean earning more. They ship massive numbers of phones, over 190 million units last year, with annual revenue around $50 billion. But Xiaomi sells phones at razor-thin margins. Sometimes they barely make $20 to $30 per phone. So how do they survive? Through ads, software, IoT devices, and ecosystem products. Smart homes, TVs, wearables. Xiaomi focuses on users, not profit. They invest in growth, hoping that these users will generate revenue from apps, services, and connected devices over time. In other words, Xiaomi sacrifices per phone profit for long-term market dominance. Oppo. Oppo doesn't rely on hype the way Apple or Samsung do. They dominate offline retail, from massive billboards to countless physical stores. Last year, Oppo generated roughly $32 billion in revenue, mostly from mid-range smartphones. Oppo sells cameras, sleek designs, and experience, not raw performance. They dominate markets where marketing presence matters more than specs. Profit per phone? Around $50 to $70, but their strength lies in distribution and reach. OPPO proves that with the right presence, a brand can thrive without selling the most advanced devices. OnePlus started as the flagship killer, high specs, low price, and community-driven hype. Today, OnePlus has shifted to a premium model, selling fewer devices but with higher margins. Last year, OnePlus revenue was estimated around $10 to $12 billion, with roughly $150 to $200 per phone profit. OnePlus sells design, brand, and user loyalty. They don't aim for mass market domination. They aim for strategic premium growth. From a small startup to a high-margin brand, OnePlus proves that evolution can be more profitable than sheer volume. Finally, the performance beast. Asus ROG isn't for everyone. It's for enthusiasts, hardcore gamers, people who demand desktop-level performance in a phone. Last year, Asus ROG phones pulled in roughly $1 to $1.5 billion in revenue. Tiny compared to Apple or Samsung, but the margin per phone is huge. They sell high-end components, advanced cooling, high refresh rates, gaming triggers, and premium build quality. Per phone profit? Likely $400 to $500 per device. Asus doesn't care about scale. They care about power. And that focus allows them to dominate a niche market with extreme specs. Red Magic. Red Magic is the underdog of gaming phones. They offer insane specs at surprisingly low prices, with annual revenue in the hundreds of millions. Margins are tight, maybe only $50 to $80 per device, but their devices punch far above their weight. Red Magic proves that a small, focused brand can make waves without massive scale. It's all about delivering value to the right audience. In this market, even a tiny company can grab attention if it builds the right niche and executes perfectly. Apple dominates profit per device. Samsung dominates scale and components. Xiaomi dominates users and volume. OnePlus balances premium and evolution. Asus ROG dominates raw performance. Red Magic proves value can conquer scale. And tomorrow, we break down the chip powering almost all of these phones. Snapdragon, stay tuned.